Welcome to Off the Cut episode 132 for Tuesday, September 10th, 2024. And despite what the worst woodworking podcast, Green Series podcast would say, they're actually available on Apple and Spotify.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea.
Heard. Yeah.
They let anybody on those platforms these days, huh?
Don't let anybody on there. But, you know, they are actually not sponsored by KM Tools. But we
that's a shame.
Still are.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Because, you know, KM Tools is the best place to get woodworking tools because all of their tools are fill in the blank.
Either, you know, designed by Jonathan and his team or other creators or thoroughly tested. So my thought is this. Mm-hmm. They were thinking, hey, our motto here is if it's in our store, it's in our store.
Yeah.
And they were looking at the Green
right.
Series podcast and they're like, I don't think those guys know anything about tools. And they definitely don't know anything about the Katz Moses Woodworkers with Disabilities Fund, which a portion of all the KM Tools sales go towards to help, you know, get tools and resources in the hand of folks who need it most. I'm sure the guys at the Green Series podcast know nothing about that.
And the thing is, Jonathan and his team were looking at the Green Suiters Patreon supporters, and they were like, you know what? I don't think these guys need a $50 gift card every single month.
But you know whose Patreon supporters do need a $50 gift card to KM Tools every single month, Zach?
The Off the Cut patrons.
Yes, they do. So if you want to get in on that sweet, sweet $50 gift card action every month at KM Tools, all you got to do is sign up over on patreon.com/offthecutpodcast, automatically entered to win. And you know what else they get when you sign up on Patreon, Zach?
Access to the after show. Yeah. Do we have that on the sound effect board? I think we might have it on the sound effect board.
Probably.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's really where all the cool kids hang out. We have the after show, which is basically an entire another podcast every single week. Yeah, get a little rowdy.
Might crack a couple brewskis and talk shop inside baseball.
Yeah. And if you dig way back in the archives, you'll find an episode.
Shut up! Don't talk about that.
Where Zach got too drunk. And we were trying to film a YouTube video, and we ended up making it the Patreon after show, and he couldn't post it.
Yeah, I was sipping whiskey while we were making that video, and it really snuck up on me. And by the end of it, I was like, I might just be absolutely, I don't want to swear.
But tossed right now.
Yeah, tossed. So
we got to try doing that one again.
Yeah, we can
take
do
another
that.
stab at it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd be down for it.
We need to figure out a day when none of us have anything to do the next day, and then make it happen.
Oh, you're drinking during this again too?
Oh, obviously. That's what Deric meant. He was like, all three of us are going to get blackout drunk.
Well, before I want to, I have a couple questions to ask about that. But anyway, we want to give before we get in the rest of the show, we want to give a huge shout out to our returning top tier patrons. We've got Joe Welsh, Delaware Valley Workshop.
Oh, graphic.
Look at the graphic. Goblin Spanker, Corey Duvall, Josh at Sawdust Pants. And if you're watching the live stream, you'll see that Dadu's name is flashing on and off, just like a no vacancy sign at a motel, because no one ever knows if he's a Patreon supporter because he has not figured out the banking system yet.
In and out.
Sounds like a good
That's
time.
What she said.
Yeah. So, circling back on the after show where you got too drunk to post it. The whole idea for people who don't know what we're talking about, this had to have been in like the first 30 or some episodes, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. So Zach had this idea. He goes, I want to do like a live ranking where we take all of the power tool brands and we have like almost like a live debate of being like, is this one better than this one? Like a live ranking.
Yes.
And
so to clarify, if people are familiar with the tier list concept, it's kind of a tried and true thing that a lot of YouTubers do, where you organize things into either S tier, which is the highest, A, B, C, D, and I think the lowest is F. And so I had the brilliant idea. I was like, okay, well, why don't I get Eric and I on camera, and we'll just have a fun time debating all the power tool companies, and we'll assign them into tier lists, and I can use this. I can then cut it down into like a shorter, pithier thing, and I'll use it as a YouTube video. It might be kind of fun.
Yeah, and I think this was definitely back before you had gotten into, you know, doing more tech stuff. It was you were doing a lot more woodworking and whatnot.
I think so. Yeah.
So, did we decide who was the winner?
Ooh, I wonder. I think it was either. I think it might have been Milwaukee.
Was it? It was Milwaukee or DeWalt, I think.
Yeah,
I think it was Milwaukee.
I think it was Milwaukee, and I think DeWalt was A tier, like just below, because you know, Milwaukee. I'll give the devil his due. Milwaukee usually does tend to outperform by some slim margin DeWalt in most head-to-head shootouts that I've seen. You know, like any of these channels that like compare them with numbers, they're always like 10% higher or something.
Okay, I'm gonna take the explicit here. Who gives a shit if like you can drive a screw a millisecond faster? Like, does anyone actually care? Like, these tests are useless.
No, I don't think so. And I think
if you're in a competition where you got to drive as many of them as you can in a minute, you might care.
Yeah, you might care in that instance. But it's like, I don't know, like if you're going to build a tool set from the ground up and you're like having the best stuff, then yeah, get the Milwaukee. But like, honestly, if you're going to say I'm a way better carpenter because I use Milwaukee and that guy uses DeWalt, it's like, come on, bro. Like, who are you fooling?
Right.
Yeah.
But so then you get in the whole argument here, right? Okay, let's say the Milwaukee Impact can put in that 16-inch lag screw a half second faster. Okay, it might be faster, but is one of them more comfortable for you to use? I think that's where a lot of these tests fail.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there's all sorts of weird intangibles, and also, you know, your hand might be 20% bigger than my hand, and what you think is a comfortable tool might not be what I think is a comfortable tool, right? So you get into subjective stuff pretty quickly, and then all of a sudden, like that 10% more torque, that doesn't mean anything if the tool's not comfortable in your hand.
No.
Yeah. So
I think one of the interesting things when we visited that was we learned that some brands actually had way more tool variety than we even knew.
True.
And some brands were like, oh yeah, like, you know, they've got a recip saw. And then you're like, wait, they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, I don't know, it was kind of eye-opening to look at the whole tool offering that brands have.
And it was a multifaceted thing too. Like, you know, okay, everybody will say, we're saying Milwaukee generally makes the best tools. I think probably Festool would outperform Milwaukee in a lot of product categories, but also you have to consider that Festool just doesn't make a lot of tools. Like they do make a recip saw, but like that point you were making there stands. Like Festool has a pretty light lineup, so if you're gonna stake all your eggs in one basket, I wouldn't go Festool. Because you're gonna be like, okay, well, they don't have, like, I'm trying to think of something they don't have, a small trim rider. I think they only have a big one, right?
Right. Or like, I don't know, what's something else they don't have? They
don't have stupid shit. Like, they don't have like a radio.
Coffee maker.
Yeah, a coffee maker, or, you know, a light or a fan or something, or a weed whacker.
Who's got the microwave?
Probably Makita.
Microwave?
Probably Makita.
Yeah,
Makita has got some silly stuff.
Yeah.
But no, I agree. Or like,
it is Makita. Holy crap, I didn't know they had a microwave.
They got a coffee maker too.
I've seen the coffee maker. I've definitely seen the coffee maker. A cordless? Wow, crazy. Okay.
But doesn't a coffee maker pull so much wattage that it would probably go through an 8 amp hour battery after like 3 cups of coffee, wouldn't you think?
I know the microwave zaps out at like 3 minutes, and then
really?
Whatever battery
longer than I last.
That's an eternity by my standards.
But so. Yeah, but see, then you run into this other thing. Like, you've heard of like the Fine multi-tool, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that thing like $900? Isn't it like super expensive?
I think so. Yeah.
Let's see.
I think, but doesn't that use somebody else's battery?
Oh, maybe it's not anymore.
No,
The fine multi-tools.
$2.99 at Home Depot.
Yeah.
Is that like a costed down one? I'm looking at a kit here. Oh, I see a corded one that's $2.49. But the full-on
or
kit
were they
is
the
still...
ones that like invented the multi-tool? Is that what it was?
I think so. I think they did.
That it used to be like bananas expensive, and then
maybe that's what it was. When they controlled the whole market, they're like, we'll charge a fortune for this thing, and all of a sudden, Ryobi was like, okay, we'll make one too, and they're like, shit, didn't think of that.
or have you ever heard of?
Never saw that coming.
Of Mafel tools. They have like a lot of like timber framing stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's like crazy specialized stuff, right?
Oh yeah. They have a track saw that does dados that's like $15,000, I think.
Whoa, crazy.
They've got some. It's actually a lot of fun to go on their website and look at some of their stuff.
Yeah.
But it's hyper specialized.
I've got it pulled up right now. They have pretty crazy jigs for making like timber frame connections. It's like a jig that you strap onto the end of a beam and cut like a dovetail into it.
I know they've got another like chainsaw thing that's like to make like mortises that literally just like it's like it just like plunges. It's like almost like a drill press, but
nice.
like a chainsaw, dude. It's nuts. They've got some pretty cool stuff.
The chain mortiser, damn.
Look at that thing. Imagine carving a pumpkin with that bad boy. But they've got all kinds of stuff. Well,
we got a tenon that's like a whole table. Interesting. So you got some interesting stuff.
I got a question for you guys. I know you guys are a little more techie than I am. So I was going when we were getting the house prep for painting and stuff like that. They're still painting it. Actually, I got another story to tell you about.
Nice.
We're like going through, and like the guy who lived there before us installed all these smart outlets and smart switches. And
what's a smart outlet? Meaning it can be like remotely turned on and off with like a Google Home or something. Okay.
And then like smart switches, so like from your phone, you could just like turn the living room light off.
Do you know what brand?
It's Z-Wave something.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's pretty good stuff.
Type,
So, but here's the thing. We're moving in, and like they'll have like 3 switches next to each other, 2 of which are like normal rocker switches, like up and down. And then they have one smart switch in the middle that looks nothing like any of the other switches, and just like operates on this tiny little like boop, little flick up and down, and it just looks completely out of the way. And when you hit it, it's like a 3 to 4 second delay for something to happen.
Don't like that.
And so, as somebody, you guys are more techie than I am. Aren't these smart outlets and smart switches just dumb? Is it a novelty thing? Like,
no, it depends on who you've got. So I'll tell you, I've got the Lynx, TP Lynx Casa in my house.
I have the same ones.
Those are fantastic. Like they're a physical switch. And so whenever you press the button, it's instant. It's just like any other switch.
Okay.
It looks like a rocker, but it's just constantly in the on position, basically. And it does have the Wi-Fi built into it. So it relays that information as far as like the status of it to the server or whatever. And that's how you control it. So if if your internet goes down, you can still turn your lights on and your switches on and off. They're just dumb switches at that point. Yeah. And to me, that makes the difference. Now, you go over to my in-laws' house, all their smart switches are 100% smart switches. If the internet goes down, they can't control anything because they all rely on Wi-Fi.
I'm out.
No,
it's all about what you've got.
So let me ask you this real quick. You said you leave the switch in the up position, right?
Well, it looks like it's in the up position.
It looks like a rocker, but when you press it goes in, there's like an audible click, but it doesn't actually change position.
Yeah, it stays in the same position.
Yeah.
So if my mom comes over and then presses the light down, did she mess up the whole thing?
No. Switch.
Okay.
She'll come over to your house, she'll press the switch, and the lights will come on or off.
Okay.
It's kind of dummy proof, and that's what I like about it. You don't have to teach people how to use the light switches in your house.
So that's where I was getting at, because you ever have like a universal remote that would turn on the TV and the DVD player and like the cable box, and someone's
dude,
no, you turned it on. You turned it on the wrong order.
I know. I used to have one that was so complicated that only I could use it. It was a remote with an LCD screen. And it would turn things on in an order. So you had to like hold it at the TV. You had to press, okay, I want to play video games, whatever. It would then send a signal to your TV. It would send a signal to your video game console. It would then wait till your TV had turned on, and then it would send input to change to the right channel. But the problem was this whole rigmarole would take like 5 seconds, 6 seconds, however long it takes for a TV to turn on. So you couldn't move the remote away from the TV while it was doing this whole process. So you basically just had to stand there and like hold the button looking like an idiot for 6 to 10 seconds.
That's the Logitech Harmony, isn't it? That's what I had.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, sir.
This is the best one on the market too, and it was still crap.
I know.
That's absolutely.
It had like, dude, it was so funny. It had this, because it knew it was crappy. It knew it was shit. So it had this like fallback thing. The LCD screen would like display a message and be like, did everything turn on? And you would be like, no, not everything turned on. And be like, okay, what didn't turn on? Was it the Xbox? Was it the TV? Did it not change? And then like it would reissue the commands based on the feedback you gave to it.
It's like being in a bad codependent relationship with your remote control.
Totally.
Oh man, that might be the episode.
Yeah, the one. Yes.
They are in a bad codependent relationship with their remotes. It's not too bad. So universal remotes are trash. We've gotten to the point. Actually, I have to say, I got like the little Roku guy that plugs into the back of your TV, because our TVs are like 10 years old.
Yeah.
So the Roku remote doesn't even have to have line of sight. So like if you're getting all cozy, you're underneath the blankets, right, and you're holding the remote, you can still fire it through the remote.
Totally. Now I will say,
Connect.
Yeah, that will bite you in the butt sometimes, because you'll be cozy under the blankets and you'll just lose that remote under there, and then you'll roll over on it and you'll press and like change the channel at some pivotal moment during a movie.
True. It's true.
And if you got like the little stick, a lot of times it doesn't have the button to find the remote. They only do that on like the bigger ones.
Oh, I didn't even know that was the thing.
Mine's got the voice thingy where I can just scream at it and be like, "Hey Roku, find me the remote," and it starts like making a noise and stuff.
Oh,
but
really?
I like
it
because
handy.
Our TVs are so old. We don't have cable, so the only thing we do is turn the TV on and then use whatever apps are on the Roku. So I love just having that little itty bitty remote, and it does everything.
Yeah, that is nice.
Fantastic. That's probably one of the best streaming things you can devices you can have in your home.
Yeah, I like it.
I've never actually tried a Roku.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
My TV has a Google Home built into it.
Oh, then you're fine.
You're fine. Yeah, it works fine. Yeah.
I'm dealing with TVs here that are like sub 2010.
Gotcha.
Now,
I think in general,
you guys are cringing.
My philosophy with smart home devices is that they have to function like regular devices as well.
Okay.
It needs to be intuitive, right? Like people know you walk through a door, you like reach the right and you smash on the light switch.
Right.
You can do a smart light switch, but it still needs to fit into that rhythm.
Yeah. I feel it. So give me the selling point. So we're gonna, once we move in, I'm gonna do whatever anyone should do when they move into a new house. You replace all of the outlets, all the light switches, so they're nice, fresh. They got some good, good tactile feel to it. Outlets don't fall out, and it's like $1 a piece to do.
And they're not that weird color. Like sometimes it's the off-white. Yeah, the almond color. You're like, oh, why is this? Why do these exist?
You look at it and just throw up in your mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
So, sell me on why I shouldn't just remove all of the smart switches and just put in regular switches. Convince me.
Okay, so the easiest one is when you're in bed and then Miranda turns to you and she's like, "Do you turn off the kitchen lights?" And you're already snug underneath the blanket. And you're like, "I don't want." It's a cold. Imagine this. It's a cold February night.
Cold winter's eve.
You're stripped naked because you sleep naked.
Who does?
I do, for sure.
Yeah. You got the temperature nice and low. Do you really want to get out of bed? Do you really want to stop being snug as a bug in a rug and get out of bed and go turn off the lights in the kitchen? Or do you just want to ask Google or Siri or whatever to do it for you?
Okay. Okay. But see the thing, if I'm walking into the bedroom, I just look behind myself and I'm like, oh, the lights are still on. Right?
On two things.
Please,
to piggyback on what Zach said, I have a smart home routine set up. So whenever I go to bed,
I don't know what
the
that
last
means.
thing I do, it's I press a button on my phone, and it automatically turns off all the lights in the house. So everything in the house goes dark. So I don't have to go around. I have a big house. I don't have to go around hitting a bunch of switches. They all just go off, and I know they're off. Also, whenever we're out of town, I can turn those lights on or off so it looks like somebody's in the house still. I can set up a routine so that they automatically come on and off at certain times.
Yeah.
And then to sell it even one step further, I completely lost my train of thought there.
You're talking about routines. You're talking about being on vacation and being able to turn on and off the lights.
On and off.
Man. So the other thing is, we discovered these whenever our kids were little and they couldn't quite reach the light switches. We found dumb versions, but now they have smart versions where whenever we walk in the bathroom, the light switch has a sensor and it automatically comes on. You don't have to press the button or anything like that, and it stays on for a set amount of time. And I have it set up because they're also dimmer enabled, so at night after a certain time they only come on to like 25%. So whenever I walk in the bathroom, it's not full brightness.
Okay, that's
and then it goes off after a couple minutes.
Yeah, I hate the motion detector ones because the way I go to the bathroom, I'm in there for a long time, and so you always have to do the thing where you're like on the toilet and you're waving your arms to try and get the sensor to come back on.
Well, this one they have it where you can walk in, and if you double tap it, it'll stay on for half an hour.
Oh, okay. Half an hour might not be enough time.
Might have other problems.
That was the worst when you'd be at work in the office, and you'd be going to the bathroom, and the lights would turn off. And you have to get up and throw your arm over.
Now imagine that in your own home.
It'd be terrible. So I can see that. I will say that I want to replace my garage door opener absolutely with a Wi-Fi one so that you can do that oh crap, did I close the garage door?
Yep. Yeah.
I have mine will automatically shut itself if it's past 9 o'clock and I have it left it open. It'll automatically shut itself. So if I leave it open in the middle, I can't leave it open in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Same thing with the front door, being able to check the lock status and
I'm all in for that. I bought one of those smart lock thingies with the fingerprint guy and
I love my fingerprint
BB boobop on the front of it. I got one of those, but I'm not sold on the light switches or the outlets. Okay, hold on. I could see the allure of the light switches. Now sell me on a smart outlet.
There it gets hard.
Yeah, that's a tougher sell. Yeah, that's all about.
Go ahead, Deric.
I was gonna say that's really like if you have lamps that you want to control with it, and you don't like the little box that protrudes off of the outlet for those.
Yeah,
but that's asinine.
Yeah.
If you're using the box that comes out, just go listen to the Green Series podcast.
I use the smart outlets for, there's a couple lamps and then also the Christmas tree lights, and that's about the extent of my
Christmas tree. I put an outlet for our Christmas tree.
And when I had exterior lights, so you can't actually do. I don't know if I should check. I don't know if anybody makes a smart GFI yet, but I had like a smart extension cable that was waterproofed. So it was just like a 12-inch cable that you could plug something into. That was smart enabled. So I would use that for our exterior lights. Because again, that's one of those things where you're outside, maybe you're doing a little barbecuing or something like that. You have the lights on, and then you go inside and you leave them off, and you can just see that glow when you go to bed or something like that.
I get that. So let me ask you guys this. All honesty, try to be as unbiased as possible.
Okay.
What do your partners feel about the smart stuff?
Can't live without it. Whenever we bought this house, I had to get new ones and get it all set up pretty soon. Which, if you're going to buy them, Thanksgiving, they run fantastic sales, and that would be the time to stock up on them. Well,
the smart light switches, they've just been getting cheaper and cheaper. I think when I first got into smart light switches, they were like $100 a pop, and I was like, it's kind of pricey. Now they're like $19 all day long.
Yeah.
So,
but if you're doing a whole house, like every little bit,
it adds up. Sure. It adds up. But just start with I started with like the strategic stuff, like the lights on different floors that we would commonly leave on. I did those ones first, and then I slowly branched out from there.
Okay. I think smart home is a lot like tools. Once you start dipping your toes into them and exploring the different ones, you're going to find yourself falling backwards into a pit of I need or want this and that.
Yeah. So don't look at it, basically.
Well, it's a love or hate thing.
I've kind of hit peak smart home stuff. I did the light switches. I've done the front door lock, and I have the cameras. And now that's about it. Like I haven't found anything. Audio. Yeah. But I'm too much of a snob for that now, so I have to.
I don't like controlling my TV with my voice either.
No, and I think the voice stuff is it's only of limited use. Although we do have one of those smart screens in the kitchen, which is nice for setting timers and stuff when you're cooking. Yes.
Or listening to
I just use my watch.
Yeah, you can use your watch too. But it's nice when you have two people in there. Like Sophie will throw some potatoes in the oven and then set an alarm with the Google. Ooh. And then I'll come in and flip them when it goes off. She'll say, listen for the alarm on the Google. I'm going to go have a shower. And then blah, blah, blah.
And you can label them as different things. So you can tell it, start a timer for potatoes for so much time. And it'll label them differently, which is nice.
Like here, you can get a 3-pack of smart light switches for $50 Canadian. So that's like 35 American.
So which ones, if I'm gonna buy them, do you suggest I buy? You said the TP Link.
The TP Link Casa. Yeah, I like those too.
Okay, because I got one of those TP Link Wi-Fi mesh things for the house. Yeah. The probably Deco or Deco or whatever the hell it is.
Oh, okay.
It seemed to work really well.
How do you feel about Zach, the future proofing it by going with the Matter versions of everything? Or
I don't, dude, I don't know. So I've seen a lot of different smart home ecosystems come and go over the years. So I'm very skeptical of all of them. And in fact, I think the Casa stuff is all Matter certified now. But I've always just picked my stuff based on whether it has that little sticker that says works with Hey Google.
Yeah.
That's because you feel like the Google's a good kind of.
It's a good hub, right? A good hub. Like I like their hardware for the smart screens and stuff like that. I have had an Android phone for the last 15 years, so. It's a pretty easy choice for me. For you, Eric, I might look into the ones that work with the Apple thing. But I think the Matter thing is trying to bridge the gap between all of them, right?
Yeah. It's trying to be a universal standard for it all.
Yeah. And I mean, I hope it works, but I'm skeptical.
Yeah. These TP-Link matter switches actually look nice.
Yes. Yeah.
So like,
they come with
I
a
would
nice
be
like
cool
screwless. They come with a nice screwless switch plate too, which is kind of cool if you're into that.
Yeah. I dig that. I do. Okay.
Now, if you guys want to circle back around to what we were talking about in the beginning, I have pulled up the list from the tool show off. If you want to revisit that.
Ooh.
Maybe we'll do that. Should we do that in the after show?
After show.
After show.
I'm good with the after show. So I wanted to circle back about the painting thing. I said I had a story. Right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is, I don't know, Friday
hold
or
on.
Saturday?
Before you do that, the electrician finish?
Yeah, the electrician. It's all good. It's good.
It's all good? Sick. Okay.
Yeah. I told you that they wanted to come back to just double check that it was all good. And everything was totally fine. No problems.
Okay.
They were there for like 5 minutes. So electrical is all good. I got all my drywall stuff coming tomorrow. So I got like the Planex and the collated screw gun and the Planex vacuum and all that kind of stuff's coming tomorrow.
Was
so I'm hoping just
kind enough to provide.
They were, which is super nice.
That is
Do you have to provide in return?
I told them I'd do like a reel for each tool, and they're like, okay. I was like,
oh, it's
fine.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure I could have gotten money out of it, but it was like, I need these, and that's a pretty good return.
Yeah, I think each one of those is easily $1,000. So
right.
Yeah.
So that's coming tomorrow, and then I'm going to start doing the drywall hopefully next week. But then when you do the drywall, then I'll paint, and then hopefully then I can move all the tools in, and like I won't have to like be working around all of the tools, which will be a nightmare. But so the painter's over there says like Saturday or something, and he calls me. He's like, "Hey, I just want to let you know, we were gonna start working on the ceiling, and I just want to just kind of give you another overview of the project, trying to just be very, open, transparent, walk me through the whole process and stuff." It's like, yeah, dude, I know how you paint a house. But he's like, so what we're going to do is, I've been trying to save off from buying this thing, and I finally broke down. I bought it. I know it's going to make all of our future jobs way easier. And he goes, I got this thing called a Festal, is what he said. And I was like, okay. I was like, oh, you got the Planex. And he goes, you know what this is? I go, yeah, I've got one. And he goes, why aren't you doing the ceiling? And I said, I don't want to do it. It's going to take forever. And he just laughed and he goes, I don't blame you. He goes, yeah, this is going to take us a couple days. He goes, I got to go get 24 grit paper for the Planex.
I didn't know they made 24. I know they made 36, but
it's only the.
Was it just like a bunch of rocks glued to paper?
Yeah, pretty much.
They just take concrete and just glue it on.
They just drag flypaper through a gravel road.
Yeah,
pretty much. And he goes, they don't have it anywhere in Columbus, so I have to order it online. I looked it up. It's $4 a sheet.
Yeah,
for this paper. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And so he's just like, yeah, I should have bought this a long time ago for when we were doing ceilings like that. But it was just such a big expense that like I couldn't justify it. And I was like, I'm sure you're gonna make it up in efficiency on this job alone. I mean, you're probably gonna break even, probably, but yeah. But then I was just waiting for him to be like, well, can I just borrow yours? Which I was gonna say,
yeah,
hell no.
Yeah. I was going to say, did you tell him you got yours for free?
No. Well, yeah, and then he got into he was like, well, why do you have one? All I said was, I work with them every once in a while. And he goes, oh, okay. Like,
you should have said, yeah. How do you even broach that with somebody? Like, I have a YouTube channel. It's like, you don't want to get into that 99% of the time, right? So
when the electrician was there, he goes, so what do you need all these outlets for? He goes, are you going to have like multiple EVs in the garage? And I was like, no, just running some tools. He goes, I gotta ask, what are you doing in here? Like, are you running like a business or something? And I'm just like, no, I just like, it's a hobby thing.
Yeah, I think if you had told him I want to build like a pretty heavy duty wood shop, he probably would have got it.
Well, then that's what I said. And then he goes, well, do you sell stuff? And I'm like, no. And he goes, well, like, these are some pretty big tools that you're running. Like, do you run a business? Do you do this? And then I was wearing your shirt, the Zach Build shirt. And he goes, do you have like do you do like a YouTube thing? And I was like, yeah.
God damn it. He made it busted.
I know. And then he was like, oh, well, how do you make money? And I'm like, oh my God, I don't have time for this.
All right, let me break this down. I'll show you my balance sheet and I will explain my entire business to you.
I basically just said like
back on September.
I basically am just like, I make videos and then like, the ads that play like during YouTube videos, like I get paid on that. He's like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then that kind of shut it down. I was like, thank you.
There you go. Nice. No follow-up.
Like I would be fine, willing to have that conversation. Like if you're at like a dinner party with somebody and you sit down with one of Sophie's friends' husbands, and he's like, so what do you do? And you're like, I'm gonna be here all night. Like I'll talk to the guy. Yeah,
true.
If you're vibing with him.
Yeah, I was talking to John about that at Scott's wedding. Mm-hmm. I was like, well, if you go out with your wife friends, do you say what you do? And he's like, I just tell him I'm a woodworker.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because it's something that's it's so weird and different than what anyone else's spouse does that people are like, wait, what? Like, tell me more.
As soon as you say it, as soon as the words come out of your mouth, that is going to be the conversation for the next 15 to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And once you've done it a few times, it's like, I don't know. Sometimes you just want to be, you don't want to be the center of attention at a table. You know
so what do you say? You just work in, you just do contracting with my dad, home remodeling.
Yeah, home remodeling. A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Like, you build anything cool recently? No.
Yeah. Nah, that's bullshit.
I'm going to go grab a beer. I'll be right back.
Yeah. So, and then I'll just turn around and be like, no, what about you? What do you do?
All right. And they're like, I'm a marine biologist. And then you'd be like, no way, I'm an architect. So I got to ask you this one. Do you ever, like, when people ask you what you do and, like, you get to the point where you're like, I do YouTube. Do you feel like you're instantly getting judged?
Yeah, definitely. Because a lot of people have, like, a lot of people have weird feelings. I mean, I think you skate a little bit by when you say like you make YouTube videos. It's not quite as stigmatized as if you were to say I'm a influencer.
Yeah.
I think there's so much stigma attached to that it's like I actually lean more heavily. Maybe this is my own personal bias poking out, but I lean more heavily into the YouTube thing if I'm going to have a real conversation with somebody. I almost don't even mention. Yeah, content creator, content producer, whatever.
I would say YouTuber over content creator, though.
Yeah, because I think that's
not content creator. Yeah, I'd say content producer.
Producer,
like you're producing content for not
just
yourself.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a good test. Like it was funny. So Sophie and I bought a new car recently, and we were at the dealership, and they say like, okay, like how much do you make? What do you do? And they asked me what I did, and I was like, well, I make digital media for the internet.
And then they're like, he doesn't have a job.
Yeah. They're like, all right, Brokey, you can't afford this car. Get out of here.
It's just awkward. So I got to ask,
it is awkward.
Did you guys go with the X5?
X3.
X3, okay. I know, because she had X3,
content creator, and they downgraded him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, so we had the X3 before, but it was a slightly older one. So we got the newer one, but also the one with the big engine that's sportier.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes.
So you still got just one vehicle?
Just one vehicle. Just one vehicle. Although this is a new obsession of mine. I have been thinking about buying a project car to work on. Scott Walsh is lobbying hard for me to get a mini truck with him. But
dude,
we'll see. I'm casting a wide net right now. I'm actually gonna go pick up. I got a free motorcycle. A friend of mine has a motorcycle that his wife is making him get rid of. It's like a bike that he bought as a project. And so he said, if I come pick it up this week, I can have it for free. So I'm probably gonna.
What kind of bike? A sport bike? A cruiser?
No. It's funny. It's a 1970s Honda CB 175. So it's a teeny tiny little bike.
1970 Honda CB 175.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's dope.
I know, right? It's really cool.
I can see you riding that.
Yeah. So that is going to, and so I'm thinking that, like, should I spin up my second automotive themed channel that I've always talked about?
Yeah. What would you call it? Zach Builds Auto?
I was thinking just Zach Autos or something like that. Yeah, Zach Builds Auto. Yeah, Zach Builds Auto has got a nice ring.
Zach Rides.
I like Zach or Zach's Auto.
Zach's Auto. Okay, yeah. I want it to be automotive. I don't want to pigeonhole into motorcycles, even if it does start with motorcycles. So
yeah, I was gonna say, because if you call it Zach's Bikes or something like that, yeah.
Exactly. Then your bikes forever.
Maybe just Zach Motors. Yeah.
Zach Motors. Ooh, Deric. I like that. Yeah. Okay,
that's 10% commission off the top right there.
10% royalty forever.
Don't you think it would be fun to go all in on a second channel and see, knowing what you know now, how quick could you spin up a profitable channel?
Yeah. But the thing is, if I do a second channel, I will do it differently. Like, it will have a different, I think it'd be more like slow content. It'd be less edited, more laid back. I would want it to be a lighter lift than my current YouTube channel. I want to see if I could build, but still applying the same things, but I don't think I would scrutinize the videos to the same degree.
It would be almost a hobby channel, if you will.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. It would be a little bit more experimental than my main channel.
Okay.
Could you see success in, maybe not down this road, but a couple of content creators that have a similar side passion getting together and starting a channel where they alternate putting out videos so that there's constant stream of content, but each one's not having to put out something constantly?
Yeah, I think that would work, but man, you would have to be so careful about the people that you chose to do that with, because you get different competing personalities, and 2 years into it, one guy's like, I don't really feel like doing this anymore. And then the other guys are like, oh, do we pick up the slack? Do we reduce the blah, blah, blah?
That's true, yeah.
I think one of the biggest, factors about why a lot of people don't want to, go into a partnership or share a business with one another, because there's so many unforeseen circumstances. Like, let's say, Zach, you and I started a YouTube channel together, and it was, how you started, it was all woodworking projects. So was mine. And then you're like, dude, I think I want to get into making these retro game consoles. And I'm
You'd
just
be like, fuck no, that's stupid.
Yeah, I'd be like, dude, this is not what our channel is.
Yeah, we have a woodworking channel. We make woodworking videos.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
but look at the success you've got. I would have been wrong to say that for our vision. I would have been right to say it for our vision.
Yeah.
Would have been
if we had a joint woodworking channel, you would be right to say that, because you're going to create a schism where half the videos are a completely different theme than the other ones. So having that other person there, or having a team or something that you're working with, adds a lot of complexity to it. And I mean, personally, I wouldn't be interested in doing something like that, but I could see it working for other people.
Yeah. If you, Scott and Mark, happen to all love, working on cars and motorcycles, and you guys are like, hey, every weekend you want to get together for a day and bang out some content. Like that'd be fun, right?
Yeah, totally. And then that's the other thing I was thinking about this channel is I've been trying to do the building channel, but I would hold this channel to like no schedule. It would be just, when the videos are done, they're done. I'm not going to rush. I'm not going to stress. I might not even worry about sponsorships. It might just be like a pure passion play.
Yeah.
But then this channel gets 25, 50, 75, 150,000 subs. And you're like, I'm making a pretty good chunk of change each month here. Like, should I take on a sponsor?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I am weak when it comes to the dollars. Somebody puts a check in front of me, I'm like,
But see, that would be something that would be fun. Like, if you could hire Bryson and just like be like, dude, you want to come over for the weekend and just like film me working on the stuff and just like you do whatever, like do a full edit of the video and just like 100% in your hands.
That'd be cool too. I was actually thinking that if I were to do it, I might do it like POV style. Like I might just strap a 360 camera on my head or something like that. And then again, very light lift. Like I wouldn't want to be like moving around cameras, trying to get the perfect shot. I would just like wear a POV camera the entire time I did it. And like, that's the footage I have.
Almost kind of like go ahead. Sorry, Deric, go.
I was gonna say, would you do it with voiceover and narration, or just audio shop sounds only?
I think voiceover and narration, but almost like no A-roll, like no talking to the camera.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
old school.
Okay. Oh, so I was thinking you might do it like Marquez Brownlee's second auto channel, where it's literally just like him talking to the camera the entire time.
I don't have the chops for that, though. I actually find that to be the most draining part of making videos. Like, I dread the parts where I have to talk to the camera. I'm much more happy when I can just focus on, like, doing the work. Even moving the camera around to some degree is a little bit of a drag. The part that I enjoy the most is actually doing the work.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
What about scripting your voiceover and recording the voiceover?
I think I would still do that. I think I would still like sit down and script it out. Because I think, again, for retention, you would need to...
But it's a passion project. What do you care about retention?
You got him.
True. It's a good point.
You could experiment with stream of consciousness.
Yeah, I just don't think my stream of consciousness is worth listening to.
It would just be blabbering rambles. Or it'd just me be like, I'm bored of hearing myself talk.
Yeah, I think so.
Would you ever get people that like you'll be talking to them and they'll be like, well, tell me more about that. And you're like, that's all I've got. Like, I don't know. I feel like I've said what I needed to say.
You think so? I think when I say something and somebody's like, oh, tell me more about that, I'm often like, I get analysis paralysis, trying to be like, okay, like I can talk to you all day about speaker design, but how much do you know? Like if I say, if you have a projection on the front of your speaker, it's going to create diffraction nodes.
Sure.
Do you know what diffraction nodes are? Or do I have to explain what diffraction nodes are before I can explain the acoustical design of a good speaker to you?
What grade level do I need to break this down to?
Kinda, yeah.
I guess I kind of get the same thing where people are like, oh, how's it going? And you're like, oh, man, I just put out a YouTube video this morning. I'm like real stressed about it. It's not doing as well as I thought. And then I don't even want to say that because people will be like, why does it matter? Yeah. And you're like, well,
I mean, my entire livelihood depends on the success of these videos.
It depends on the success of these videos.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know if I'm going to change the title or the thumbnail. And they're like, what does it matter? Just like, just put the video out like, I got to get this video done. Why? Like, just do it tomorrow. It's like, well, I got to get it to the sponsor for approval and then this and that. Why does somebody have to approve your videos? It's like, I'm not even going to get into this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, like you kind of say things to a level that you're comfortable talking with somebody else, and then when they ask more, you kind of have to think deeper about like, okay, how deep down this rabbit hole do I want to go right now?
It gets back. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it gets back to what we were talking about earlier. Like, if you're at a dinner party, do you even tell somebody that you do YouTube?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
But then are you holding yourself back from genuine connection from people?
It's a great question. And I struggle with that one quite a bit. Because I often find, like, like I go out and I don't know, like somebody will say something that I think is stupid. And I'll be like, that's a great point. Just to like not, like not rock the boat and like not offend people.
Right.
But I am holding back my like true opinion. So like I'm not really fully committing to the conversation, right?
Well, I think you also know that there are people. I'm sure you have people in your life that you can have civil discourse with. Like,
yeah,
we all could be like, no, I disagree with you, but I'm going to hear out your opinion and I'm willing to change my mind.
Yeah.
I have friends where like you could talk about, and we're not going down this rabbit hole, but you could be like, I'm going to vote for this person. And no matter what you would say, preventing a logical argument, being like, here's why I vote for this person.
They'll still bite your head off.
Yeah, they would bite your head off, criticize you, tell you why you're wrong, as opposed to going, I understand why you see it that way. And that seems like a good choice. I disagree. I would pick this person. Like,
yes, yeah. It's a very I don't know. I mean, God, who knows? I think our generation is bad at that for some reason, or like just the times people are bad at that. But I don't know. My frame of reference is only these times. So maybe people were just as crappy about this 30, 40 years ago. But it seems especially bad now. In not just in like politics, but in all things. Like you can be like, I'm a Ford guy, and somebody be like, Chevys are the best.
Yeah, I actually really enjoy having civil discourse with people who are open to having a discussion.
Yeah, totally.
About any topic. It could be about the merits of the best fast food company, or who's the worst team in the NHL.
Twix versus M&M's. Yeah.
But if you have somebody in that discussion with you that is unwilling to change their mind, like, what's the point of even having the discussion in the first place?
Yeah, and I think
to learn who your enemies are.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, and I think I burned myself out a lot when I was younger, like just not arguing or like having, I used to call it playing handball against the drapes. You'd like volley a conversation to somebody and it would just hit and then drop to the floor.
It's straight.
But so I think I learned at a certain point, I was like, you can't really change anybody's opinion. Some people get really mad when you share your opinion, so probably just best not to even talk about anything real.
Yeah. Unless somebody, like, I'm making this up. In my head, Zach, you and Sophie buying this car was the absolute 10 out of 10 worst thing you guys could have ever done in your life.
Yeah.
If I think that and you're like, oh yeah, we got a new car the other day, and we're like, dude, are you freaking kidding me? You shouldn't be doing that. This, and this. You'd be like, what?
Yeah.
Now, if you asked, hey, what do you think about this? And I'm like, man, I don't know. Like, maybe you guys should be focusing on this. You could go, oh yeah, okay. Well, I asked your opinion. I see why you might think that way, but I disagree. And I go, okay. Yeah. Civil discourse is what
civil discourse. It's tough. It's a skill that I don't think a lot of people pick up.
Yeah. I think that comes with age, though. Hopefully,
yeah. I hope. But I've seen some. I don't know. Seen some pretty old people who are pretty unaccepting of opinions on their own.
Yeah, I've got some. I mean, we don't need to go down there. I've got friends that just like, you're like, dude, I'm not even going to engage in this discussion with you.
Oh, yeah, honestly. Yeah, 100%. Me
just
too.
Like somebody does something stupid, you just go, oh, okay,
yeah. there are just red button issues with some people, and you're like, okay, just will not even broach that. I'll let them like say their piece, and then I'll just sit here and smile.
This is why you can't tell people what podcasts to listen to, because they have hard opinions.
Yeah,
true.
Like if somebody was like, "You got to listen to the Green Suiters podcast," I'd be like, "That's absolute trash," but it is available on Apple and Spotify. No, they're streaming platforms.
I can respect that. I can respect where it is.
I can respect it, but you're wrong. Yeah, but
now,
go ahead.
Oh, well, I think we're both going for the same. I think we're both reaching for the same olive branch right now.
Oh.
I have something that I want to discuss with you guys, but I think it would be better done in the after show.
Oh, okay. I'm excited to hear what you have to say because I have a big grievance to air.
Ooh,
a large grievance to air and a solution to said grievance.
Do we need to take an extra long break so you can deal with your grievance?
No. I think we're good. But if you want to hear about our grievances and all of our other news and what's going on, we are going to head over to the after show over on patreon.com/offthecutpodcasts, and you can head over there too. But if not, no hard feelings. Just go listen to the Green Series podcast until you can hang out with us next week.
That's right. See you, everybody.
Yep. See you, everybody.